If I think it isn't safe, we'll move it into a different city, absolutely.
The vice president of FIFA reacted to the president's claim that he can move matches out of U.S. cities that he considers dangerous.
With all due respect to current world leaders, football is bigger than them.
Newly introduced policies and stringent approach may just put the entire event at risk.
Something massive is shaking the very core of world football, and hardly anyone saw it coming. The 2026 World Cup, once hailed as a historic milestone of unity between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, now stands at the center of a growing international storm. What was meant to be a shining example of cooperation is fast becoming a contest of control, politics, and power. For years, the United States stood as the dominant force, the lead host with sprawling stadiums, billion-dollar sponsorships, and unmatched media influence. But recently, the mood inside FIFA's glass-walled headquarters in Zurich has taken a sharp turn. Concerns are mounting over safety, over political interference, and over whether America can truly handle an event of this scale without descending into chaos. Behind closed doors, whispers of contingency plans are spreading, an almost unthinkable development for an event of this magnitude. Canada and Mexico, once seen merely as junior partners, are quietly emerging as the steady, reliable anchors of the North American project. Their governments are coordinated, their preparations precise, and their promises increasingly trusted. Meanwhile, uncertainty looms over America's readiness. Could the very nation that helped secure this tournament now be at risk of losing its hold on it? The cracks in America's football dominance are widening, and what began as a dream of unity may soon reveal the fragile truth behind that alliance. The question echoing through boardroom, stadiums, and headlines alike is both simple and unsettling. Has the United States already begun to lose control of the world's greatest game? Before we dive deeper into this unfolding drama and uncover how power, politics, and football are colliding on the biggest stage in history, make sure to subscribe to the African Web, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future deep dives into stories that shape the world. The chaos began with a single remark that sent shockwaves through both political and sporting arenas. During a live press conference in September 2025, cameras flashed as the US president spoke with his usual confidence. Then came the words that changed everything. If any World Cup host city was deemed unsafe, matches would be moved elsewhere. It was meant to sound reassuring, but instead, it detonated like a bomb. Within minutes, social media exploded. News outlets from London to Lagos carried the headline, "America threatens to move World Cup matches." Analysts scrambled to make sense of it. Could one man really decide where World Cup games would take place? Of course not. But perception is everything. FIFA responded swiftly yet calmly. Vice President Victor Montagliani issued a statement that was polite on the surface, but firm in tone. Football, he said, is bigger than any government or political agenda. The message was clear. No one dictates to FIFA, not even the most powerful nation on earth. But the damage was done. Inside FIFA's headquarters, doubts began to grow. If America's leadership could be this unpredictable, how secure were the tournament's plans? Stadiums had been renovated, billions invested, contracts locked years in advance. Changing even one venue could unravel it all. What once seemed unthinkable now felt possible. The world's biggest sporting event was suddenly entangled in politics, and FIFA's faith in the United States began to waver. While public debate raged, something quieter but far more consequential unfolded behind the scenes. In Zurich, FIFA's top officials held a series of tense, confidential meetings. Their discussions weren't about social media or politics. They were about survival, image, and contingency. The World Cup's credibility depends on trust, and trust in the American leg of the tournament was starting to fracture. One insider described the mood as measured panic. Canada and Mexico suddenly looked like the calm in the storm. Their preparations smooth, their logistics solid, and their governments steady. The contrast was undeniable, and FIFA took notice. Without any public announcement, the organization began quietly reviewing operational alternatives. They called it logistical balance and broadcast optimization. But everyone knew what it really meant: preparing for a potential shift. Reports suggest that some high-profile matches, even semifinals, could be reassigned to Canada or Mexico under the pretext of technical adjustments. On paper, nothing changed. The US still hosted the majority of games. But behind the scenes, subtle edits appeared in planning documents. Canada's capacities reevaluated, Mexico's infrastructure rechecked, and for the first time, FIFA simulated a version of the tournament with fewer US games. Publicly, FIFA stayed silent. Privately, the message was clear. The World Cup's integrity mattered more than national pride. And if that meant moving the spotlight away from America, so be it. As whispers grew louder in Zurich's corridors, the world began to ask, could the 2026 World Cup's true power base be shifting away from the very country that once led it? What began as a clash over sports has now become a mirror reflecting something far deeper. The World Cup isn't just a tournament, it's a symbol of how the world perceives a nation. For decades, America's image has stood for leadership, capability, and strength. But the 2026 World Cup controversy has exposed cracks beneath that image. Rising violence, political division, and bureaucratic hurdles now paint a picture of instability that contrasts sharply with the country's once unquestioned global standing. Even devoted football fans are beginning to wonder if the US can truly deliver a safe and seamless tournament when so much at home feels uncertain. Meanwhile, Canada and Mexico have emerged as examples of calm efficiency. Their commitment to order, inclusion, and cooperation hasn't gone unnoticed. Observers worldwide highlight how both nations are managing preparations with professionalism. No drama, no delays, no uncertainty. It's a striking contrast to the unrest dominating American headlines. The symbolism is powerful. The once dominant United States, now being outshined by its quieter, steadier neighbors. Inside FIFA, this shift isn't just logistical, it's philosophical, reflecting a broader change in how the world views leadership, trust, and competence. Beyond the stadiums, this story points to something much larger. The World Cup has become a test of America's ability to unite, to host, and to inspire confidence in an increasingly skeptical world. If the tournament slips away, it won't just be about football, it'll be about credibility. And the question echoing through every conversation remains, can America still lead? Or has that era quietly come to an end? As FIFA's behind-the-scenes reshuffling continues, the balance of power for the 2026 World Cup seems to be shifting north and south. Canada's steady approach and Mexico's disciplined organization are slowly stealing the spotlight, while America wrestles with growing uncertainty. What was once a vision of unity has turned into a high-stakes diplomatic and logistical game watched by millions. FIFA officials won't confirm any changes, yet insiders suggest the transition is already unfolding quietly. The US may still host the majority of matches, but the heart of the World Cup, the trust, reliability, and global admiration, is gradually moving elsewhere. This is no longer just about stadiums or schedules, it's about perception. The United States was once viewed as the world's grand stage for global events, a place where nations could come together under one banner. Now, its divisions, unrest, and political unpredictability have left the world uncertain. Meanwhile, its neighbors are showing that quiet precision can achieve what loud promises cannot. Perhaps the most pressing question of all remains: will America regain control before it's too late? Or has football's greatest event already begun slipping from its hands? What do you think? Has the United States lost its grip on the world's biggest game? Or will it bounce back when it matters most? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the African Web for more deep dives into global power, politics, and the stories shaping our world.